What's going on? Welcome to Totally Blitz Podcast. We're in this motherfucker with the Week 12 preview and picks. And of course, we're going to recap the snow battle, the blizzard that we saw on Thursday Night Football, where the Browns come out with a home win 24-19 over the Pittsburgh Steelers. The AFC North, you never know what the fuck's going to happen. As always, go down, like, and subscribe, comment along the way. I'm Paul Pick a Win'em, and I'm joined with.
You already know, man. It's that boy Kev, Water Boy Savoy. And Paul, man, I think Russell Wilson just finds new ways to disgust me on a weekly basis. I'm not gonna say the Steelers suck, but
Whereas
that's
Bill's
definite.
offensive line sucks.
Yeah, them boys are not good.
Miles Garrett he get 4 sacks by himself. I know he had three. No, he ended the game with three. It was Miles Garrett was the one man wrecking crew. And in his post game speech, where he basically like, I have respect for TJ Watt, but I'm the best fucking defensive end rusher there is. No one's fucking scheming up the way they do against me, and I still get the shit done. I was like, oh shit, okay, Miles Garrett, I didn't know you talked like that.
I mean, yeah, I respect it. I mean, you could say the Steelers were doomed from the start because immediately they missed a field goal. So it was like, oh, this isn't going to be a game where Boswell could just kick you into the kick you a W.
Because that bitch
They
was like 58 yarders though in the
in
snow.
the snow. But like that's the Steelers offense for you. They fucking horrible red zone efficiency. They can't get in the red zone. And when they get in the red zone, they can't convert. So like if you can't make them 58 yarders, bro, you might not win. They can kick another field goal. They kick another field goal. Browns get the touchdown. Steelers fumble. Browns get a field goal. Now it's 10-3. End of the half. Come back in. Browns fumble. Steelers get a turnover on down. Browns punt. Steelers kick. I'll field goal. Browns get the touchdown, and whoa, the Steelers get a fucking touchdown. I didn't know they offense knew how to do that. Now it's a 19-18 game. And no, it's a fucking 13-18 game. Browns get a fumble. They're looking like the fuck. They're looking like the fuck ups that they are. That I'm starting to think they are. Steelers get a touchdown. Now you're up 19-18. You're thinking this is the dub. Also, all you got to do, defense doing what they got to do. Offense scored just enough to fucking win. Then the defense gets you a motherfucking interception. But you sorry ass motherfuckers punt the ball with motherfucking and when a 3 and out and punt the ball. Then the touchdown happens. So I'm just like, bro, I fucking hate this fucking team because they don't play well when I fucking pick them. George Pickens and them can't do those fucking move balls when I fucking pick them. And don't get me wrong, you can blame it on the snow. You really could. And I heard George Pickens' press conference and he said, I think the Browns, and I don't think the Browns are a good team at all. The weather saved them. Bitch, the Browns are playing in the same fucking weather. Jameis is throwing in the same fucking weather. You play in Pittsburgh. And if you go on the playoffs, you probably got to play in Kansas City or Buffalo. And guess what? That's the same motherfucking weather you're going to run into. So I was just like, you know what? I'm not going to say I'll never pick the Steelers again. I'm just think Russell Wilson and that O line will not get them anywhere if the defense has anything that has to face any adversity.
And the snow didn't help, but it was because the first half the Steelers were just moving up and down the field. I actually didn't do that shit in the third quarter too, but they was moving up and down the field, and then
For
Miles
no
Garrett
reason.
would get a big sack. And then that because literally right before the 58-yard field goal, I want to say it was like a 40-yard, not a 40, but like a 49-yard field goal, 48-yard. There's still distance, but not. It was like way more within Boswell's range. And then Miles Garrett comes like I don't know who said it was giving him a one-on-one, but they did. And Miles Garrett just blew past it, gets the sack, and now it's a 58-yarder in the snow. Boswell misses that one. That one I don't blame on Boswell because that's a fucking damn near 60-yarder in the snow. Um, that bitch is not. That's very unlikely that bitch is going in. Um, then
With that offense, they gonna do shit like that all the time.
and then they get the ball back, and like Russell Wilson, I want to say had like 4 deep passes in this game for 25 yards or more. Like he was George Pickens caught two, either one or two. Calvin Austin caught a couple. Calvin Austin caught also the touchdown where he was just basically wide open. Um, so they were moving the ball. Running game was non-existent, but they were moving the ball. And then every time they would get past the 50, they would just Jaylen Warren fumbles, Najee Harris fumbles, Russell Wilson sack fumble. Russell Wilson getting sacked 4 times on the 50. Like there was just so many times where because if you look at like the total yards, time of possession, first downs, um, all those metrics that usually indicates who was the better team and who probably should win that game. The Steelers beat them in every single one of those metrics. They had like 10 or 15 more minutes of time of possession over the Browns because Browns weren't really having long, good drives. There's a lot of 3-and-outs, except for whenever they did get the few touchdowns that they got. Even those weren't recent. Like one of them was a long drive, and then the other ones were pretty short drives set up by good field position. Also, the punter for the Steelers, he kicks a 15-yard punt right after the 3-and-out towards the end of the game, which sets up the game-winning drive for the Browns. Like I know it's a snowstorm, but still a 15-yard punt that's disastrous. That set up that set up field position right there, which then has led a couple completions down the road. And it just kind of looked like they didn't put the team away, and the Browns are just kind of hung in there, hung in there, hung in there. And then whenever you thought the game was over, since they hung around for too long, the Browns were able to get one drive together at the end of the game.
And that's all it fucking took.
And then the snow, I wish the snow looked like it kind of helped them because like the Steelers had no like if it was a clear sunny day from the passes I was watching, like, the passing offense, Steelers was able to move the ball. Winston made better throws in the snow, which made no sense versus when it wasn't as snowy. Because and earlier in the game, he had he had missed like 3 or 4 passes, which led to the 3-and-outs. Because it was like, damn, Jerry Jeudy was wide open. He just missed him by like 3 yards. But having the Nick Chubb scored 2 touchdowns alone was plus 700. And then of course you parlay that with the Browns money line. I was sitting at like plus 1,200, plus 1,300 worth the odds with that alone. Then I got greedy and started using like his yards, like 100 yards. He ain't get 100 yards, but he did get the 2 touchdowns, and the Browns did win.
I respect it. Good choice. Check. Going with your gut.
That's a what they call it in basketball, a heat check.
Sit your ass down.
And then let's get down into the slate. 1 o'clock. We got oh yeah. First, just looking at the dates, I thought this was like Thanksgiving, but no, we got normal last week before Thanksgiving week worth of games. Dolphins 7.5 point favorites at home with the Patriots coming to town. Drake May and them boys do have a decent offense nowadays, but the Dolphins I think are in back against the wall, win now mentality. Tua looked great last game, 3 touchdowns. Um, our defense, Jalen Ramsey is like the only corner right now to be like top two. I think he had like an 80 something run grade and like an 80 something pass grade. He's like the only cornerback with both. Our Chop Robinson in the past 2 weeks has been the number one edge rusher, statistically. So like maybe our defense is finally locking up. We also haven't played the best competition, but I ain't gonna complain. I'm hoping we do the same shit this week. The Dolphins should take care of business here. Our run game has been working great, and our passing game has slowly started to look better and better as Tua has been here. And our defense is playing phenomenal. As long as Drake May doesn't have like a fucking day, we should be able to handle business here.
I mean, yeah, I think you guys are in the win now mentality. You guys could really come at a lot of people that was talking shit crazy when your boys was 2-6, and you're still not out of the playoffs. So I think not only did the Dolphins with come in this game with as a better team, but I also think they feel like they have more to lose. So whenever you kind of mix those two together, you usually get a blowout game. So I wouldn't be shocked if your boys scored 30 plus this game and kind of let it be known, hey, we're here to win, homies.
We're still alive. Yeah, and it's down in South Beach, which always helps. If this was in New England, I'd probably be a little scared. Next game on the slate, we got the Giants, the new look Giants. Daniel Jones was benched. Daniel Jones was moved to practice. He played safety for the practice squad for a day. And then the following day, he has been released by the Giants. So Daniel Jones is no longer a member of the New York Giants. They will be rolling out Tommy DeVito, Tommy Cutlets, if y'all remember him last year, which also was a little shocker because Drew Lock was QB2 and was told he was QB2. And then when they benched Daniel Jones, it's announced that Tommy DeVito will be the starter. Drew Lock expressed kind of a, well, that's, they kind of told me something else, but it is what it is type of vibe when he was asked about it. So, and also apparently a lot of the locker room apparently liked Daniel Jones because when he got benched, a lot of the locker room was not happy with the way it went down. It's kind of there's a big fucking mess over there right now. But they got the Buccaneers coming into town. Buccaneers playoff picture is not dead yet. If, so they just need to roll some wins. Mike Evans looking like he finally coming back too.
I mean, their playoff chances are dead. They're not mathematically, more on some like respectfully. But yeah, I'm expecting them to come off the bye, kind of play some good football. Yeah, we're 6-5, they're 4-6. We're on the bye this week. They're probably gonna get the dub. So we're only gonna be one game ahead of them. So it's time for us to lock in when we get back from this bye. If we lock in, and we're not gonna talk about how bad our defense is. You know, I see the stat the other day that was like the last our secondary is giving up like 71% of throws or some shit like that. Crazy numbers.
Ooh.
But yeah, but if our defense locks in when we get back, we're straight. We go back to being the best secondary in the league. We Gucci. But onto this game. Yeah, I've been telling people how bad the Giants are all week because I've been hanging out with a lot of folks that don't watch any football. So they ask me random questions, and I tell them like, yeah, Daniel Jones might be the shittiest nigga starting right now, and like, we have the Raiders. We have the Raiders, and like, I'm still not. I'm still so. Them releasing him is a good thing. I mean, they still have to pay his ass. I gotta check to see how much they still gotta pay him. But yeah, I mean the Giants. This is a good week for them to kind of be like electric. Yeah, we're still good. The fucking like when the Panthers bench Bryce Young the first game and put in Andy Dalton, or when you put in a Joe Flacco. But this isn't that. This team is abysmal. This team is a dumpster fire, and all they have is a front is a front that doesn't really give a fuck, and you have a good receiver, a good rookie receiver. Besides for that, this team has not showed a single step of professional competition. Truthfully, like this is one of those teams where we'd be like, "Hey man, let's get Alabama or Texas to come fuck them up," type shit. So I'm taking the Bucks. I expect the Bucks to come in. I expect the Bucks to make them boys look stupid, and I expect the Bucks to actually try to get that playoff seat.
Yeah, if it wasn't the Buccaneers, or if it wasn't the Giants too, I might have different vibes because normally I get like, oh, backup quarterback, like, oh, they're gonna come in, rally behind their guy, they're gonna play good for him. The coaches, gonna throw everything he can possibly throw out there for this game. But I don't like. I'm just not getting that vibe from the Giants. They're like, if you told me, yeah, they have a good offensive line, all they need is a quarterback to make the decisions. I could understand that, but it's like y'all don't have a good offensive line. Y'all receiving core is decent to really good. Malik Neighbors could be a superstar. Darius Slayton and then boys could be solid back, like number two and number three, but they're like decent to really good. The defense has not been good at all this year, other than the front seven. But then the front seven kind of just shows some days that they don't play at all. The Buccaneers with Boyle's defense going up against this Tommy Cutlets, I just think it's gonna be a recipe of disaster. It's gonna be a lot of pressure, a lot of making you make throws, and I just don't see it here. I'm gonna take it the Bucks here on the road as well. And Kev, it's gonna be kind of scary. I'm gonna need y'all Falcons to tighten up because if y'all would have just like won one of those last couple of games, it would have been like, yeah, Bucks are fucking dead. Bucks are not making it out of the. But now I didn't realize it was that close. It's like if they win here, it's just a game difference.
I watched it. It's not really just a game difference because if we tie up, like we kind of did bust their ass and we got the better division record.
Y'all play
But
twice still, or y'all play the second game
yes,
yet?
we bust their ass twice. One Thursday night, one Sunday at one. What you mean? Tampa and Atlanta week. But shout out them for not giving up. What's it called? It's gonna be a good one.
Then we have the biggest spread. Oh no, actually it's tied. We got back to back biggest spreads of the week. Panthers hosting the Kansas City Chiefs here. Maybe you could have talked me into it if the Chiefs aren't coming off an L, but Chiefs coming off a loss, they're gonna be fired up for this game. The Panthers, they have been a solid story these last couple of weeks because they back to back wins, but it is over the Saints, it is over the Giants in overtime. Then you got to travel all the way back to America, and then now you're gonna host the Kansas City team that just came off a loss, a very competitive loss to like a rival. Some would say. I think Kansas City's coming fired up, and they should win this game, and they should probably win it big.
Bruh, if they were to lose this game, the amount of fucking shit ESPN will talk about for the next week. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Shit was crazy. But yeah, the Kansas City Chiefs better come in and ball. They better come in and don't give up some crazy stupid lead for no reason. They shouldn't make this game harder than it needs to be. And Patrick Mahomes do not throw some stupid ass pick. Like if this is the game, if that last game was their wake up call to be like, hey, we can't just like willy nilly and hope for a last minute, hope for a miracle no more. Let's motherfucking lock in, focus, and win the game from the jump. That was their wake up call, and this is their chance to practice to execute that. But we'll see. It's the Chiefs. I'm picking them to win. I wouldn't be surprised if they chose some random bullshit to make this game a movie or something. Maybe they're recording this and they trying to make like the greatest documentary of all time. But
Maybe.
before we get into the other one, I'm gonna say this because you know your favorite thing is George Pickens and listening to Young Boy.
Oh yeah.
So ESPN, I was watching Stephen A. Smith, and they was over here talking about motherfucking George Pickens and his comments, the last play, him fighting Greg Newsom on the sideline, and all this shit. And Stephen A, Ryan Clark, the two random bitches, like, oh, I'm so disappointed. Oh my gosh, this is not Steelers football. And then you got Cam Newton. Cam Newton goes, man, this dude is a crash out. And you need someone like him on your team. And then Ryan Clark was like, yeah, you do need crash outs on your team. And I was like, that's crazy. He's the designated crash out. He's the one that gives the team grit, they said.
No, but also, not only does he give a grip, but the Steelers are notorious, or at least in the last 15 years, they gotta have a wide receiver that just don't give a fuck. And that was Antonio Brown for them. And then because everyone was saying, it's like, damn, going from Antonio Brown to George Pickens, how the fuck do they keep finding these like CTE demons or some shit?
He's the CTE. That's what
And it
they
was such
need.
a fitting title for because I'm like, yeah, I'm like, he, I sent you the clip of him like running, like fighting in the stands at the end. Like that, a Hail Mary's in the air, old boys in the fucking stands. Like what the fuck?
Crashing out. You love it. We love to see it. And then Kevin was also an asshole because he was like, and that's how you guard a fucking Hail Mary, Chicago. Like I was like, damn.
Yeah, just fight the guy.
I was like, shots fired.
That's funny. I'm glad you brought that up because these next couple of games are going to be some ass whoopings. Commanders 10.5 point spread taking on the Dallas Cowboys in Washington. Uh, this is how far Dallas has fallen. Honestly, this might be what's best for them because then Jerry can at least be like, well, I didn't have my starting quarterback, so of course this season's going to be shitty. And then they have a decent draft pick for once because they always get 10 wins and end up with like a mediocre draft pick. I'm not saying Parsons is mediocre, but they don't get a top 5 pick. This could be the year.
Whoever is on that draft team with Jerry is nice. I will say that. I will say Jerry and the boys can draft a good player and develop him. I will say that. You got people saying Zach Martin is the first ballot Hall of Famer, CeeDee Lamb, Dak Prescott, the original Zeke. Like these are players he drafted. I respect
Yep.
that. Alden Smith, like he was drafted these
Javon
guys.
Diggs, how do you feel about him? He still had that year.
I mean, yeah, each his own. But that's it. Like that's it. Besides for that, this Cowboys team is kind of cooked. So all they can do is just sit down and respect the fact that like, yo, we suck. So let's fucking go rebuild now. Let's rebuild, and we could probably make a great team out of this bitch again. That's kind of what we do. But we can hope that they do that. This week, you have Cooper Rush starting. You know how I feel about that. So I'm never picking that. I'm expecting Dan Quinn's defense to pop up because he's what? He was a coordinator for this team for how many years? So
4 years or so.
yeah,
Three.
I'm really expecting him to go and play against their tendencies. He knows they don't have a fucking run game, and he knows they can't block. So I'm really expecting this to be a Jaden Daniels has a great game, but it's because he kept getting put in good positions from turnovers and just great defensive stops.
So I'm not gonna pick against Jane Daniels, but I do think 10.5 points is gonna be kind of crazy just because Washington has, not saying that they can't figure it out, but they're slowly looking worse. Not worse. It's just Jane Daniels has the rib injury. Since that rib injury, his rushing has definitely been limited. He's not getting the 50-yard rushing games that he was getting earlier in the season. It's similar to the Kyler Murray effect. It's just like he took a couple hits. Now he's a little banged up, and we just don't see that side of him. He is also an undersized quarterback coming out of LSU that probably needs to put on a little bit of weight and stuff for these type of hits. It also was the Steelers by a 1 point game. Defense doesn't jump on that third down, who knows, or fourth down, who knows? Maybe they win that game. And then the Philly kind of just came in and stomped them. No, I just think the Cowboys front seven with Parsons and Lawrence in them can hinder the running game and make Jaden Daniels beat them. And I think this game's gonna be closer than 10.5. I still think Washington's gonna win this game, but like if I'm as a betting man, I'm looking at that Cowboys plus 10.5, and I'm like, I think this might be like a fucking 13-21 game where yeah, you lost by 8, but it wasn't a fucking 10.5.
Yeah, I respect it. I don't know. I think this defense is going to take advantage of Cooper Rush and make this just like a 30-12 game.
I could see that with Dan Quinn coming back to face his former team is going to be kind of fun. And I feel like none of the assistant coaches liked Mike McCarthy. I don't know. I just always get this vibe of like, motherfucker, we do more than you. Like look at this big oof. Like I'm the one calling the plays. I'm the one that got the meeting room set up. I'm the one that's doing all the intricates with the players and stuff. And then Big Mike comes in and is like, oh, like with his own little shit. I feel like I could see Washington trying to run up the score just for Dan Quinn.
Yeah, and then I can agree with that just to see how frustrated he is. Like it feels like he has to do a lot more than he used to.
Yeah. And Mike McCarthy's ass is low key getting out the door. So wouldn't be shocked if the Cowboys just kind of just give it up this week. But I still think they'll keep it close. Then we got, oh, this spread's kind of gotten bigger, hasn't it? No, I guess it's the same as it opened. Texans 8 point favorite at home taking on the Tennessee Titans. Divisional game. Texans are trying to look good. I mean, I'm trying to follow up off that good win on primetime over the Cowboys. Definitely needed that to get back on the winning streak. And then the Titans are 1-4 in their last five. Only win coming in the overtime game against the Patriots, where Drake May almost knocked them off. Here we are now.
Like,
They're going to Houston, though. It's a divisional game. Do we throw it all out the book? Or do we throw out the whole book, or are we still thinking these teams are who they are?
oh man, I mean, I don't think anything well of the fucking the Titans even a little bit. Will Levis is probably gonna be playing, even though the best games is with Mason Rudolph. The Texans, I mean, that was a very, very close game. They could have gave that bitch up last week, but they didn't. If Joe Mixon can get off like they did last week, and I want to say Nico Collins played last week, didn't he?
Yep. He looked good, too.
So yeah, I'm gonna trust the Texans to get the job done. as I should.
Oh man, trying to. Do I want to get frisky? Because I'm getting a weird feeling. I just feel like the Texans have not been playing good. Like they've been
They
winning,
haven't.
but they just have not been playing good, and that's usually like a recipe of divisional opponent you don't really give a fuck about. Who the
I mean,
Texans?
I wouldn't say they've been winning. I want to say they lost. Before that last game, they lost two in a row.
Yeah, they did. I'm trying to see who's their next opponent. The Jaguars. Oh shit. Yeah, they
Yeah,
got some.
they lost to the Lions. They lost to the Lions and the Jets, and had a close game with the Colts, and then lost to the Packers.
Oh, I'm gonna go against the grain. I'm gonna take the Titans here on the road.
I respect it, man. Below
I,
is low dog.
their defense has been playing really good. They're second lowest passing yards allowed per game. Top 12 against the run. Honestly, Joe Mixon could be the way they beat us. I don't know. It's not even Joe Mixon. Will Levis could be the way that they beat us because I feel like if Will Levis doesn't throw an interception, doesn't fumble the ball, as long as his team can just play like a Steelers offense, I'm not asking for 30 points. I'm asking for y'all to control the ball, move the ball down the field, settle for field goals, put up 21, 24 points. And y'all's defense, I really think, could do the rest. Because if the Texans kind of come in sleepy, looking past the Titans, and it's an early CJ Stroud interception, Joe Mixon, a couple three and outs, this and that, and the Titans can come up to an early lead. Their defense has been playing really good, and no one's really talking about it. And plus, it's a divisional game. I'm I'm gonna go with the Titans here on the road. I don't have a lot of dogs, so I gotta find it somewhere.
I respect it.
All right, and then we got another game on the slate. We got the Colts going to take on the Colts with the Lions coming into town. Lions are 7.5 point favorites on the road here. Colts, this is definitely their hardest matchup of the rest of the slate. If they win this will be a shocker here. 7.5 point dogs at home. Kev, you riding with the AR train?
Mm. I'm looking at all the fucking all the ones bigger than that this week, and I'm like, you got the Texans -8,
Washington,
ten
Chiefs.
and a half, Chiefs 10.5. So I'm looking at this line like it's only seven. It's only seven.
Especially with the way the Lions have been playing with the 50 points per game.
Beating them boys the fuck up like over here. You gotta bet the over on them just because they might match that bitch themselves. Yeah, we're gonna get the Lions and we're gonna get the Lions to beat the shit out them boys. I just think AR and them boys, they got the dub last week. Shout out them. But that was that week where they come off and they play their best because this Lions team's ready to come fuck them up.
Yeah, I do think eventually the Lions team is gonna run it. Like they're not gonna be able to put up 50 points, but like they had a close game with the Texans, 26-23. They win that game. The Green
And he
Bay
threw five
Packers.
interceptions.
Yeah, that was incredible. They beat the Packers 24-14. They beat Minnesota 31-29. So I feel like the narrative is like, oh, they beat this team by insane amount of points. It's like, no, the Lions have just been beating teams, whether it's by 1 point, 2 point, or by fucking 48 points, which is that's insane to even say out loud. Um, they this honestly might be the best football team in the league right now. Kirby Joseph, their safety, arguably him and Xavier McKinney are battling for the best safety in the league. I know you got your Jesse Bates up there, Kev, but statistically right now, the Packers, Xavier McKinney with all his interceptions and forced tackle, like is everything down the line. And then Kirby Joseph, same thing, interceptions, like just has been all over the field. Honestly, been
I,
playing two of the best safeties in the league.
I'll let them get it for right now because we got to get our defense need to get some things together. But I'm just saying they don't got to fucking they don't got to have to let they fucking what's the word for it wait an extra 5-8 seconds in coverage because they D line ain't fucking getting down.
That's
Just
true.
that out.
Uh,
You
th-
doing
th- that's other thing though. Like Aiden Hutchinson goes down, and it looks like okay, the pass rush might be done. No, they rallied together. It's still just as dominant. They go out trade for Zaire Franklin, get him into the game too. Oh, not Zaire, to Darius Smith. Like they're doing everything that you want out of a team, and I just feel like the Colts. I'm not calling them frauds, but they kind of I feel like they're a team like this rolls into town is when they get like you see like the 40 to like 17 type of game. Give me the Lions.
Yeah, I thought you like a home dog, bro.
I do. I actually wish I would have watched the Pat McAfee picks because the it's Foxy's team going into the Colts. I didn't even peep what they had to say for that.
That's where I got the it's just sevens, bro.
Really?
No crap, no crap. You should have heard them when they were going over the because this is dang, that's funny that you didn't. That's why I thought you would have got that. But this they were talking about how there's two players, and I thought you said Zaire Franklin because of this. Zaire Franklin
He's
has a
on Colts
podcast.
side.
Yeah, no, but Franklin has a podcast with somebody, and they were talking about how the media has been on their ass, and they got Pat McAfee as the fucking cover. And then, bro, they were throwing so many shots at these boys. It was so funny because, like, Pat was like, "Yeah, man, I'm glad that they're using me as bulletin board material." You know what I'm saying? Zaire Franklin, he's from Syracuse. Oh, looks like he didn't get a lot of winning done there either. And I was like, "Oh shit, Pat."
No, Pat's been on like scorched earth with the Colts. I was like, I've never because there's ever since the AR stuff. I'm like, he's calling people out, but now he's like standing on his toes and saying like shots. I'm like, oh shit, this is a little bit more than just like y'all need to play better. This is like, motherfucker, y'all don't know who y'all talking to. I know about winning football.
Facts. He was talking about, he's like, yeah, man, I was a small part of some winning teams. And he's like, bro, we haven't won the AFC South title in 10 years. 10 years. Like, they had like a good 8 minute tangent to two them boys. This was funny. They was even talking about the locker room. I was like, damn, Colts is the Colts is like the most functioning dumpster fire in the world right now at 5-6.
Yeah, and I mean, oh, I want to believe in them, but I just feel like, and this is not the game. This ain't the game. The next games I'll probably be picking the Colts because they have an easy schedule. But the Lions 9-1 going to roll in here. Um, then we got divisional matchup, Kev. Bears 3.5 point dogs at home, taking on the Minnesota Vikings. I know you're not the biggest Viking Sam Darnold believer, but you also been completely out on the Bears. So I am kind of intrigued on who you're leaning towards on this matter.
I already wrote my pick down. I already wrote
Oh,
my pick down. Well, I was just making sure that we're playing this one next. But yeah, I wrote my pick down before we even finish the sentence. Um, the Bears are frauds. They just fired some type of offensive coordinator to make them look better. I mean, that should help a little bit. I think they played well last week, and you would hope that they would play well again this week. But this is not defense. This isn't a defense for that. Kevin O'Connell that was just on the Pat McAfee show, and he was talking about how the Vikings have yet to play complete football. They want to continue meshing and melding and get to a point where they're peaking and playing their best ball in the playoffs. So I got the Vikings to come here, come in this bitch, throw all types of mixed coverage. Never let never let the Caleb Williams feel comfortable and know what they're gonna do next. And really fuck with the play calling after, especially since this is their first week with a new play caller. So we got the Vikings by a lot.
I'm on the other side of history right here. I do think this is a game where the Bears, they're at home. You got the divisional rival. They're literally like this close to setting up the game-winning field goal against the Packers, and then that shit gets blocked. Again, Caleb Williams with the new offensive coordinator last week looked a little bit better. He wasn't holding the ball for like there was a few plays where he held the ball, but for the majority of the game, they looked like they kind of are training him like, hey, first read is open. Just fucking like this play is designed for the first read to get open. First read gets open, just throw the ball. 1.8 seconds, 2.2 seconds. Just get the ball out of it.
And that's exactly what we want them to do. Because Brian Flores is going to be like, yeah, the first read is open. Pick. Yeah. The first read is locked up. Or they're playing man over there, so the first read's locked up. Well, if they're playing man, then that means my second read should be open. He gonna look over here. What the fuck? These niggas playing zone. Like they finna confuse
I
that boy. We
know
want him
Flores got
uncomfortable.
the defense, but I'm just saying, I just feel they do let up a lot of yards. They get the turnovers. That's the thing about the Vikings defense. They get the turnovers.
As long as they go up, if they can start the game up and Sam Darnold doesn't do a bunch of
See,
dumb
as
shit.
you keep forgetting about Sam Darnold's got to worry about this Bears defense without his left tackle. Ever since that left tackle got hurt, the Sam Darnold experience has gone downhill. Last week he looked decent, but he had 6 interceptions in 2 weeks prior to that.
Which he fucking did. And even last week, they only won like 12-7.
No, it was 23-13, but it was still an ugly performance.
My bad. 12-7 was the week before.
The week prior, that was one of his 3 interceptions, and that was against the Jags. Yeah, they won that game. Don't get me wrong, but it's still like I can see it. Like it's still in there, Kev. Like you got to look past. You're looking at the profile picture. You got to look at the pictures posted by the friends to really see what he looks like. That
The picture
motherfucker
posted out.
cooked.
That nigga snap. That nigga snap. But don't you be over here telling me this like I'm in the screen. The defensive coordinators are like they walking into this bitch every week. I'm talking about we looking at film. We're like, oh, y'all finna beat us with this guy. Bad, bad. I want to see it happen. We finna go. We finna go help the offense this week. They gonna need us.
We're gonna see. It's gonna be a good game here. We got divisional. We're split on it. I got the Bears. You got the Vikings. It's in Chicago. Then we got our first 4 o'clock game. There's a lot of divisional games here. Raiders 6-point dogs at home taking on the Broncos. Uh, I mean, Broncos coming off a big win. I'm gonna go deep into that 38-6. And the Raiders, is it 5 straight or is it more than 5 straight losses? Six straight losses. Honest. Oh shit. Yeah, 6 straight losses, and the Ross that started their free fall was against the Broncos 6 weeks ago.
Yeah, man. I mean, yeah, the Raiders are not good. Antonio Pierce, they're not doing it, man. This is not a good team, and they're showing us what bad could really be. The Broncos, on the other hand, 6-5, just beat the shit out my Falcons. Divisional game, trying to make the playoffs. Defense is still looking pretty fucking good. Oh yeah, I'm expecting the Broncos to come in and get a W.
Yeah, the first time they played 6 weeks ago, the first loss, 34-18. Gardner Minshew throws like 2 interceptions. Uh, they look good early, and then the Broncos just stomped them. I think it's the same the rest. Gardner Minshew's showing why he's probably not an NFL starting quarterback. I try to give him the benefit of the doubt. He's a phenomenal backup. Bring him in for a game or two, that boy's gonna play his ass off. But a 17-game stretch, it doesn't work out. Broncos defense alone, I think, could win this game. But once again, what the fuck do I know? I have not. I don't think I picked this Broncos team correctly all year long. I hate Bo Nix. Gotta give him credit though. He probably honestly should be number one or number two in the rookie of the year odds after this like 5 week stretch he's been having.
I respect it. I would still think the other guys are a little better than him, raw talent wise, but he's winning games.
Winning games. Both going with the Broncos, majority Broncos defense on that one. Next game, not divisional rival matchup, but damn near divisional rival at this point in careers. Packers are hosting the 49ers. I feel like we get this game once or twice a year. That's why I feel like it's a divisional game at this point. We get the 7-3 Packers with the 5-5 49ers coming in town. It's a 5.5 point spread. It was a lot smaller. What was it? Do I have to weather originally Packers are a 1.5 point favorites at home and a pick 'em. Brock Purdy is not going to be playing this game. It will be Brandon Allen who will be getting his start. I do have a little bit of a stats for him. This will be his 9th start or his 10th start as a starter. As a starter, he's 2-7, 10 touchdowns, 6 interceptions, is and 56% completion percentage. They do have the Pastronaut, Josh Dobbs back there also. People are shocked he's not getting the start over Brandon Allen, proven winner, unlike Brandon Allen. But here we are. We got Brandon Allen led 49ers and going into Lambeau.
Niggas said proven winner. I bet you they got the same winning percentage.
They probably do, but people, it was a good story last year with Dobbs.
But yeah, I've seen something about Brock Purdy not being at the press conference and not being in the locker room today or yesterday, and that's usually Thursdays, usually his go-to days, or Fridays. But 49ers, 5-5, last in their division. Packers, 7-3, second in the division. Don't you think that's crazy how that division shit works?
The little things.
Two games. Two games is the difference between second and last. But I would love to pick the 49ers this week. I think the 49ers have been trying to reel back, get better, even though they just lost to the Seahawks. What? The Packers, they just got a fucking close ass dub. It didn't look like they dropped the Gatorade. They know they stole one in Chicago last week. Jordan Love, I think, only threw one interception, so that's cool. So,
Yeah.
I mean, if you keep the turnovers down, you exploit this team for not having a quarterback to get to these to throw to these fast ass receivers and get this offense rolling. You play to run and watch Jordan. Never let Christian McCaffrey do too much. And make sure Jordan Mason stays a day. You win this game not easily, but like you can win this game just by through execution because you are the better team.
Yeah, no Jair Alexander though, which will hurt the defense, but also no Brock Purdy for the fucking 49ers. So it's also like tick for tat with that one. Um this is how deep is Shanahan's bag? That's what this game looks like to me. It's like if this is even a ball game in the fourth quarter, I know Shanahan his bag goes wonders. It's like because like if this quarterback Brandon Allen comes in and looks like a competent NFL, like no one gave a fuck about who the fuck is this seventh round pick Brock Purdy. And then now everyone, a year and a half, 2 years later, everyone knows who the fuck Brock Purdy is. So it's like if Kyle Allen comes in, Brandon Allen comes in and looks good. It's like damn, Shanahan's system is really just like the standard. I feel like for offenses, like for at least people to like come in and learn. But I don't know much about Brandon Allen. I'm not trusting Brandon Allen. I'm the Packers team is. I said, Kev, this division is gonna have three playoff teams. I may not have hit the nail on the head on which three it would be, but I just knew it was gonna be a lot of talent coming out of this division, and
Mm-hmm.
The Packers are one of those scary teams because even though Jordan Love can throw two interceptions, they can keep up with anybody, and they have. And I think they've
Ah,
they asked.
I will say this: I'm not going to put too much respect on this Packers team, just off the fact that their last four games have been against the Bears, 20-19, Lions, 24 to 14, Jaguars, 30-27, and the Texans team that we said haven't been playing well, 24-22. So they're playing close games for no reason. And when you say that Kyle Shanahan thing, that's what kind of scares me now. Because I'm like, huh. They've been winning close games. They lost a close game last week, but they won a close game against the Bucks.
But their
Won a
offense
close.
hasn't been working, and I'm just like, do you think he's gonna work with a different guy?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, let me chill. Let me chill. Let me chill. Let me chill. I'm gonna change my pick.
Yeah, that's what I always go. I'm like, I know he's a great mind. That's why I said if it's still a ball game in the fourth quarter, I don't expect him to win. But if he keeps it within like a close game, I'm like, okay, Shanahan, you're a crazy good coach because like the offense is not looking good with Brock Purdy in. So I just don't, you know, I don't expect the next guy to make it look good that hasn't been playing for 11 weeks.
I respect it.
Then we got, I mean, shit. If the 49ers beat the Packers with this, though, it's cursed. 49ers and Lambeau just lock it up every fucking time.
Every time.
Then we have the battle. This could be the battle of the number ones in the division. Seahawks hosting the Cardinals here. Cardinals are a 1 point favorite on the road. Seahawks slight home dogs. I guess some home pups, as you might want to say. I believe this is the second meeting between the two. No, never mind. They'll play twice in 3 weeks. So this is their first meeting before they see him again in 2 weeks. Cardinals 1 point favorite on the road. Are we taking the mighty Cardinals or? Are the Seahawks Geno Smith? We're not riding him out yet. Is at home. There's underdogs here.
So the Cardinals have won 4 games in a row. The Jets, Bears, Dolphins, Chargers. But besides for that Dolphins game, all those games were at home. Chargers 17-15 close game. Dolphins 28-27 close game. Bears 29-9, duh. Jets 31-6, duh. So I trust this Cardinals team at home, but on the road, I don't know.
Yeah, I didn't even notice that. I'm looking at now. Like, but prior to the Dolphins, they lost every other road game. They lost to the Bills 34-28. They lost to the 40. I don't know, they beat the Niners. That's their one saving grace. But that was the game where the Niners kicker gets hurt and they lose by 1 point, and they were going for it on like 4th and 20s and shit.
Mm-hmm.
But then they lose to the Packers 34-13 in Lambeau. So I guess they beat us and they beat the 49ers. And our win was our offense, like we just fell apart. We unraveled and gave the game away to them. It's not like they played a great game to beat us in Miami.
Mm-hmm. But the fucking, I mean, the Seahawks beat the 49ers, but they also already played them boys this year. So I don't know about this one at all because I want to take the Cardinals, but I don't like them on the road. And I want to take the Seahawks, but I really don't like them as a better team right now.
I'm in the same, but I have no idea. Like I like the Cardinals when they're underdogs. I don't like if this was Cardinals 2 point dogs on the road against the Seahawks. Kev, I'm coming in like, how the fuck are the Cardinals underdogs? They've been playing great football. Give me the Cardinals. But I feel like this line is exactly where it should be at, and I don't know where I want to go. This is a coin flip, and it's not like I think it'd be it could be a 3 point game, or one of these teams could come in here and just blow the other one out. I just don't know how to gauge these two teams. They're hot and cold. Both of these teams could come in either really good or really bad.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna take the home team. I'm gonna take the home dog, the home pup. I'm gonna take Seattle. Even though I think the Cardinals are a better team, I you pointing out how they don't travel on the road as good as they play at home, I think will play a factor.
Yeah, and they played them boys again.
In 2 weeks,
Ooh,
yeah, in Arizona, which is kind of crazy to think about. That's
this is for number one in the division.
And this
Geno Smith
division's been
is
so wonky. This is exactly what I expect this division to do. Once we think we have a clear cut winner, they lose to another guy in the division. That's lost to already another guy in the division.
yeah. I mean, remember we used to pick these teams and we used to pick them by the coaches. Like, oh, this coach
Who
usually beats
owns
this
who?
coach. Yeah, but yeah, I don't know about this one. I'm gonna pick the Cardinals 1.5. Yeah, I'm gonna take the Cardinals, but I would not be surprised. This is another game where they don't motherfucking travel well, and Gino shows that he's a gamer like he did last week.
Oh, that's gonna be a split one. And then we got the Rams 3 point dogs at home taking on the Philadelphia Eagles. They're red hot right now. Everyone's giving the praises to the Eagles. Even Tom Brady came out and said Hurts should arguably be an MVP convo. Um, Rams 5-5, another one of those teams we are just talking about in that NFC West division that they're still alive, sitting at 5-5. With the way this week shakes out with the 49ers at Packers, the Cardinals and Seahawks playing each other, the Rams get a win here. Could be any because it could be anything, honestly. Because the Rams have beaten the Seahawks. So if the Seahawks do beat the Cardinals, they both have the same record. They probably are now the number one team in the division. I don't like, you know what I mean? So they make their own destiny. They control their own destiny. They're healthier than they ever been. Puka, Cooper, they looked alive last week. Kyrie Williams has kind of been quiet the last few weeks. They're at home, 3 point dogs. Is that enough, you think, to beat this Jalen Hurts led offense? This defense that's, I think they have like the number 3 ranked defense and number 3 ranked offense. The only team to have both of those, a top 3 in both sides of the ball. They have a top 2 tackles in Jordan Mailata and Lane Johnson. They have fucking the best defensive tackle, arguably, other than Dexter Lawrence and I can't remember his name right now. Jalen Carter. Quinton Mitchell might be rookie of the year for his defensive play at corner. Um, is that enough to like who's walking out of this? Because this is I feel like an old playoff matchup.
Yeah, I would love to see this game in the playoffs.
Prime
Oh
time
man.
Monday.
So my thing about this game is that the Rams have played well against decent defenses, like the Vikings, the Patriots used to be known as one of those, and the Eagles have just been rolling. They've kind of been beating the shit out. They haven't had hard games, crazy hard games. You played the Giants, you played the Jags, you played Dallas, you played the Commanders, but your superstars have showed up in all of those games. You played, or well, they also played the Bengals, like Saquon showing up when he needs to, motherfucking doing all types of crazy shit. Devontae Smith has been out there doing their thing. And then on top of that, Jalen Hurts is like number 4 or 5 in MVP odds right now. So this Eagles team is a great team, which is funny because there's a point in time where they was asking for the coach's head. But this Rams team is feisty. They're they've only lost one out of their last 5, and it was to the Dolphins on Monday night. So I don't know. This is another game I'm kind of stuck on because the no-brainer says take the Eagles, but the Rams, they've been figuring it out.
Yeah, it's like one thing that will be made to note is Devontae Smith will be out this game with his injury. First game he'll miss. But and we saw without AJ Brown, Jalen Hurts didn't look the best. But without Devontae Smith, does he look decent? Like, how's that? Like, I haven't really seen him without Devontae Smith to really know if it's going to be that big of a drop off like it is without AJ Brown. Jaquan is Jaquan is offensive player of the year, I think consideration with the way he's playing right now. So they definitely could lean on him. The Rams defense is just going to have to make plays. And I think that's what comes down for me at least is do I trust the Rams defense to be able to make plays? They don't have to play phenomenal games, but just make a few plays. Because if they do, they could sneak out a win here at home. I'm gonna go just I'm gonna take the Philadelphia Eagles. I think they have even if you do stop them on third down, I've seen it before. They go for it on the fourth down, and then they get it, and then that slowly kind of breaks down teams. Even when you stop them, they settle for field goals. That motherfucker does not miss back there. Jake Elliott. They kind of just play really good on every side of the ball. Best top 3 offense, top 3 defense.
Mm, mm, I need a dog. I like them boys as a home dog. I don't know if I'm picking them because I need a dog or if I just like them boys. But no Devontae Smith, no James Bradbury. Yeah, yeah, I'll take the Rams. Why not?
Going
Keep
with
it
the Rams.
interesting, man. Keep it interesting. I need a dog anyways.
Oh, I thought you were gonna have the dog for the next game. You had the Chargers, 3-point dogs at home with the Ravens coming into town. A little birdie told me that you just don't ever pick against the Chargers. You pick them every week and you kick your feet up and enjoy the win.
Yeah, that's kind of the trick to the easy life. But I would take them. I really would. And I think this matchup is so interesting. And if we didn't have to, they still didn't have to do the docs, blocks and dogs. We already talked 10 minutes on this. But the Ravens defense is very fickle. They're number 2 when it comes to stopping the run. But I'm pretty sure they're dead last when it comes to stopping the pass. And every team has just realized, like, hey man, if I can't run against you, I'm gonna just throw it at this. Because Nick Chubb was non-existent when the Browns beat him.
Yeah.
But they beat him still. Najee Harris. Who was that? But they beat them. They beat the Steelers, still beat them. So coming off an L,
Flash,
coming
flash.
off an L, I have to trust the Ravens on this one. But this Chargers team is about to come play physical. It's coach versus coach. I didn't know Jim was older than John, so that's interesting. But it was it's coach. It's this is going to come down to coaching. John Harbaugh's execution probably hasn't been the best against a lot of these last few teams, but they've been figuring it out and they've been getting dubs. I just think the Ravens stopping J.K. Dobbins and the run game will ask a lot from Justin Herbert to throw to his receivers like McConkey and stuff like that. So that's why I think I can trust this Ravens defense to put on a decent showing enough for this offense. But it comes down to coaching because the Ravens lead the league in fucking penalties. And like I think like each one of their O linemen has like 5 penalties. Like maybe one of them has 3. Like Ronnie Stanley has like 7. And they've given up like 700 yards into penalties. So
Three
like
yards.
if you can, it comes down to coaching. If y'all stay disciplined, y'all win this game.
This game kind of reminds me of the whenever the Baltimore had to play the Broncos. Sean Payton and Jim and Harbaugh, I think, are the similar coaches where they've taken a roster that was worse than what they were last year, that people didn't think were going to be that good, and all they did was just bring a real coaching like attitude to this. Like, oh, I'm gonna coach y'all up. I'm gonna build y'all up. I'm gonna hold you accountable. I'm gonna like
Mm-hmm.
hype up my guys because the media isn't gonna do it. So I'm gonna do it. Like I'm gonna put my guys in the best position to be successful. I'm gonna take accountability when I fuck up. And these guys they're leaders amongst men. That's what they are, and they're showing it. And like Sean Payton is where they at with the Broncos. Harbaugh's got this Chargers team at 7-3 right now, humming. But when a real team that's been doing this for years now, like y'all are in year 1 of the build, these teams are in year 10 of the build. And when they come in and they have that attitude, that chemistry, and they know who they are and who they have to beat, and they know that y'all still like the babies, like y'all are baby warriors. Y'all be up here at the big dogs in a little bit, but right now we have to. And I think the Ravens destroyed the Broncos 41-10. I sat here and told you just for the points weren't enough. Take the 10 points or the fuck it was. And 3 points against this Chargers team. I'm not saying they're bad, but they are like good. They know how to tackle. So I don't think Derrick Henry's going to be busting up for 80 yards and stuff. But Derrick Henry's still going to get 7 yards, 8 yards. Okay, like Zay Flowers usually, I've seen that motherfucker's stat lines. He has bounce back performances. He'll have one game with like 3 yards, and he'll write off 3 straight games of 120. Um, I just think the Ravens team are just way more explosive, and it's not the same as like the Bengals defense that the Chargers look good against, because we all knew the Bengals defense was pretty bad. I know that they level a lot of passing yards, but they still got playmakers like Roquan Smith, absolute dog. Like Marlon Humphrey, absolute dog. Like Kyle Hamilton, I'm not sure if he's playing 100%. I think so though. And if he's back there, you know what he's bringing. Like I like the Ravens here.
Yeah, Ravens all the way, man. As long as I just don't think they're gonna run. Just feel it's gonna come down to discipline. Stay disciplined and don't beat yourselves.
All right. Both on the Ravens to round us out with the Monday night game. We got a good Sunday night and Monday night game with the Eagles, Rams, and Ravens, Chargers. So can't even complain on that. Of course, we're gonna have to talk our locks and our dogs, Kev. Hopefully, we do better than last week. We both did not do well. So, are we shaking it up again, or are we going with the tried and true 2 locks, 1 dog?
Oh yeah, but anytime you do the dog thing, it goes 0-3. So I'm gonna go Rams as my dog.
Okay.
And because of all these fucking fat ass spreads, I'm gonna go Vikings as my lock. Yeah, all these big ass spreads took out like half the slate. And then I'm gonna go Packers. Packers for my other lock because I don't know if Kyle bet on the Ravens or not.
So you're going. You going with the AFC North? I mean NFC North right there with the Vikings Packers as your locks.
Hmm.
I can respect that. I can respect that. All right. Locking up locking up the Ravens. Everything I just said literally about 5 minutes ago is why. Um, don't get too deep into that one. And as I'm just going down. Yeah, you can't even really touch 1 o'clock. 1 o'clock is just a no man's land with the spreads. Um, I don't want to go big spreads, but I got to give me the Packers as well. Just because it's come on, it's a backup quarterback against this team. And then a dog. I'm gonna go with the Bears here at home. I like them over the Vikings. I think their defense can make Sam Darnold throw a couple iffies. I think it's definitely. I'm all over the under on this game. That's why I'm also I'd like to dog here. Just not a lot of points being scored, a lot of turnovers, a lot of ugly ball. Give me the home team to win that one.
Yeah, I can respect it. That's
But
week 12, baby.
it's week 12, baby. As always, everyone watching along, comment, like, subscribe. I'm Paul Pickawinner, Kev, Waterboy Savoy. Broke down week 12 for you. We'll be back for the recap in UFC and boxing next week. As always, y'all didn't know. Now y'all know, motherfuckers.